Hello everyone and welcome back to my weather video for today. And today we're just going to be briefly going over the differences between what El Nino brings and what La Nina brings here to the United States. Now, this winter coming up, basically the forecasters are calling for more of a La Nina year. And basically that's going to bring a different type of weather pattern that we've seen the past couple of winters. Now, last winter we basically were in like what's called a neutral phase. So we just basically had about average snowfall. However, there were some places I know last year, especially on the East Coast, that literally got less than an inch. Point in case, Philadelphia, Baltimore, here in DC, basically saw nothing. So again, the weather patterns differ a little bit year from year during El Nino and La Nina, but typically this is what you're going to see across the United States in those years. So for a La Nina actual phase, most of the time they last anywhere from 9 to 12 months. And basically what it is, it's like cooler than average temperatures in the Pacific Ocean. And with the cooler average temperatures, basically less energy basically is put up in the atmosphere, so it actually causes all the weather patterns across the whole entire globe to actually change course basically, and it usually happens during the winter months. So when you get a La Nina or an El Nino year, they typically refer to as like in the winter months. However, then they usually last well into the spring and summer, but they usually generally start to form more toward the winter season. And because I can't memorize everything, I did print out a couple things. Okay, cheat sheet. So since I don't have actual weather graphics up, I'm just going to point basically to the areas here in the United States that would typically see a different type of weather pattern during El Nino or La Nina. So this year, again, more of a La Nina phase coming up. Basically what that's going to do is it's going to bring, see, I get mixed up here too, obviously. Basically it is going to bring, so the warmer than average temperatures across the south. Now, again, so warmer than average temperatures and a bit wetter as well. Now, as opposed to the warm temperatures across the south and southeast, you're actually going to find a bit cooler areas in the northwest and the northern Rockies. We actually already saw a push of very cold air a couple weeks ago. If you lived in the Rockies or around Denver, remember we saw that rare snowstorm and everything. So this area of the country is actually going to see a bit more cooler than conditions basically coming in, as opposed to warmer here in the south. So that's during a La Nina year. You're going to basically see average temperatures usually generally across the rest of the United States. El Nino is just basically the opposite of La Nina. So you're actually going to experience warmer than average temperatures here in the Northwest and Rockies, and you're going to find cooler than average temperatures here in the Southeast and along the East Coast. If El Nino sets up like it normally does in the East Coast and everything, that's when we usually tend to get more blockbuster named storms, especially along the East Coast and the Southeast. It does tend to be a little bit drier than normal during El Nino years across the South, and you usually see about the same precipitation amounts or a little higher precipitation amounts in the Ohio River Valley during an El Nino year. Average is usually around the mid-Atlantic, is around the Midwest and going over into the Rockies, and then usually drier conditions usually prevail around the West Coast in an El Nino year. Switching back over to La Nina though, it's basically the opposite. So you're going to see technically wetter conditions along the west. Again, average is usually in the Midwest and everything, or the plains. It's not a huge like temperature and precipitation like flux. It doesn't like necessarily go back and forth. You just basically see your typical winter conditions across these areas, especially during the middle part of the actual country. So even if it's an El Nino or La Nina year or neutral phase, you're basically going to see the same amount of precipitation and temperatures across the majority of the actual central U.S. So again, normal and everything. And then over here in the east, you're going to find a bit more wetter conditions, and then a bit more drier conditions, well, a bit more wetter in the southeast, and then a bit more drier conditions in the northeast for La Nina year. So again, coming up this year, I think the northeast is going to get, a good amount of snow. However, you're going to see a bit more warmer and drier conditions along the southeast. So I don't think it's going to be, that heavy rainfall, and I don't think it's going to be getting a very, wintry, precipitation down in the southeast. But basically, it's all fair game, for the rest of the, country and everything. I mean, the rest of the middle section, you're going to see, your cold shots. You're going to see your Alberta Clippers, which are fast moving, little snowstorms. Basically, you'll see a regular lake effect snow coming off the Great Lakes. And then you'll see, obviously, your temperature fluctuations. And this is basically in the middle part of the section where you get that wintry mix, ice and rain and sleet and snow, all of the mess that you don't like and everything. That's typical pretty much every year in the central to southern plains. So again, the El Nino and La Nina phases really don't affect that part of the country that much typically. It's just basically, it's versus East Coast versus West Coast when it comes to the El Nino and La Nina phases. So again, with the drier and warmer temperatures here in the southeast, again, I think it's going to be cooler and a bit wetter here in the northwest. This probably would do a better chance of getting rid of some of these wildfires that have been just raging across the whole entire west coast, honestly. We actually saw smoke here in downtown DC yesterday, actual, it was hazy basically. And I've seen other reports coming up from the Midwest and from the South and everything, that basically all these smoke plumes from the wildfires that we've been having in the West Coast just moving east and everything. So if it's been hazy, or if it looks a little hazy, especially during the day or during the evening time, that's the smoke coming from all those wildfires out on the West Coast. So yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff, but we want to get rid of those wildfires, and hopefully we get some of those Pacific Northwest storms coming in to that region during the fall winter months this year. So basically that's what El Nino and La Nina is. Again, El Nino is the warmer Pacific Ocean temperatures, and that produces basically, weather patterns that have a trough more like this. And El Nino or La Nina basically is the opposite, where kind of ridges a little bit, well, kind of goes like this. Basically, speaking and everything. And again, La Nina is with cooler than average surface temperatures, sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean. So that's basically the general rundown. Hopefully it wasn't that confusing. If it was, sorry. But I just wanted to give a brief demonstration, a description of what El Nino and La Nina is. So I hope you enjoyed today's weather video. Again, you can check out more weather videos on my channel. And until next time, remember to stay safe out there, everyone.